What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, if so, to another market update video here at Benefits Central. I'm Benjamin, and today Bitcoin in the S&P charts. But before I get right into the market, please leave a like, drop a comment, and if you can, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Honestly, everybody, the market has been reacting insanely. We've had insane amount of outcomes as we've hit the top of our descending channels on most of the economy, and then continued to the downside, obviously revisiting our supports that we've honestly did not want to see us touch again. However, we are revisiting these, as well as having a few events come in, as well as Elon Musk pumping Doge, Shiba pumping out a game, so it's gaining some momentum in the media and in the eyes of the people. XRP gaining momentum, as well as the SEC is losing realistically against XRP in this case, and is set to be not a security, or set to say it's not a security after their lawsuit. And as well as MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 being banned in the US and Apple Store, just because it has more Russian, I would say, control than anything. It's more established in the Russian area and region. But this is causing more of a problem, honestly, a huge problem in the trading market and Forex industry, just because a lot of traders and Forex users or traders use MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5, MetaQuotes, the company, to establish and link their brokers to their analysis and establish their trading skills, etc. But this is going to be very interesting, as we can see that the honestly, the problem with Russia, Korea, and the United States and Ukraine are not easing up on themselves. However, we will have to just see later on how these continue to affect the market. But other than that, with Powell and the news that he had come out with, as well as continuing as the market continues to digest, we are seeing continuous lows, as well as that bullish cross that we did end up getting on the S&P 500. Weekly, we are attempting to go and tap our 200 moving average, which I had said that's what we were going to do in our last few videos. And then monthly, it looks like we're headed down to touch our 50 moving average, like I had said as well. Realistically, it all depends on how we react to our moving averages and our supports. If we can find support on them, then I do think that we will continue to the upside. If we do not, and we reject and continue to go further into the oversold region, then I do believe that we are going to see some newer lows, and that this is just the beginning of our recession, and we're going to see a much further and red market. But other than that, realistically, getting out of the S&P 500, we do see where we are headed there. But with the dollar, we did end up forming this beautiful W on the 15 minutes. But besides that, looking at the daily, we are continuing to go past our 111 that I said was extremely high, and then now we are at our 114. As they said, they are not going to let up, and that they are continuing to raise rates and to fight inflation and bring that back down before sooner, obviously, than 2024. They're trying to fight this off as soon as possible, so we will see rates and the cost of things continue to go up as well. However, the 114 is a very interesting number. I am assuming that we will have a bit of a resistance at around 115, just that's the next half, and the next hole would be our next 120, unless we are going to the bigger halves. Remember that we don't have too much data to go off for the dollar index, but looking at the dollar index on how it's respecting certain halves and holes, we will have to see if the next half is 150, or if it's 125, or if it is the 115. We just have to check every 5, every 10, or check the holes and halves of our dollar index price, just to see where it's respecting and where it's going to end up coming back down, just because we have a lot of news pushing it to the bullish side. However, looking at the monthly, you can tell, obviously, we don't have too much on the MetaTrader to see. However, we are overextended, extremely overextended, so we should see a return back down once we most likely continue to stab straight through our 114, possibly straight through our 115. So we do have to just wait on our next CPI data report to see how we will be reacting on that for our dollar index. However, looking at Bitcoin and the crypto side, just to see how the world has been reacting realistically to the news, as well as this being our new market, having the stock market and our crypto market. But other than that, having this crypto market digest the data, it doesn't seem to be taking too much of an impact. However, we have kept this support line for Bitcoin at around 19,000, forming this W pattern almost. However, A lot of people are getting a little frightened by this pump and dump, just because that was the top of our descending channel once again, then getting that bearish cross. However, it does look like we are getting a bit momentum just off of being oversold, and we should end up seeing this bullish cross right here, our red over blue, 20 moving average over the 50 moving average. We should see some, or if anything, a bounce off this descending channel. Once we hit the top, we should see us get a little bit of a bounce. Obviously wicking, trying to break the support, but I don't think that we will necessarily, unless that we need to come back down and break further below our 200 moving average, which I don't believe so. But I did say that if we do end up breaking all of these wicks, then the last wick we will need to revisit is the 17,600, which we revisited last time, spiked all the way down, stabbed it, and then decided to consolidate. So we still are in the consolidation zone, or just below our 200 moving average, as well as that extreme bearish cross for our weekly. However, looking at the monthly, like I said, it is continuing to the downside. However, this 50 moving average that we did get rejected off of, our next low would be, like I said, around 17,400, 17,500 for the Bitcoin price, just because of our last stab of where we went back to. If we can honestly close, and like we did, we already broke, excuse me, the last low. The next low that we have is at 17,500 level. So if we can continue to hold above it, then I do say that we have bottomed out a bit for right now, temporarily, and we should see some upside movement, at least a bounce. And if not, and we continue to push further, then I do think that we will go and revisit our supports for Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market, just because we are reacting with our S&P and stock market. We are correlating a bit, as well as the doing the opposite for the DXY, the dollar price, index price. But other than that, I do believe that if we do continue to break to the lows, that we will end up seeing at around 12,500 for Bitcoin's price if we do continue to tank to the downside. We have revisited some support as of right now. However, we are below all of our indicators, so pushing more to the bearish side, not necessarily gaining us too much momentum. However, we have been holding pretty well for right now, so as long as we can close this month above, I do believe that that gave us a little bit of a pivot, and we can see some relief here soon in the next few months. Again, we do just have to see how the CPI reports are going to affect us as well for the crypto side. However, diving out of that and jumping into Ethereum, just to show you guys how the merge has been affecting that, as well as with the news and digesting. As you can tell, we are still in this descending channel, retesting that obviously several times. I'd say 1, 2, 3, coming back to test it 4, 5. So we do have to see where we are going to end up on the daily. Obviously being oversold, not drastically, but obviously tapping oversold on the 30 for the RSI, and then having that rejection that we did off of that with that bearish cross. 200 moving average is getting pretty close, and we are seeing that we are holding the support as of right now, from our last triple bottom and then pump that we did end up having. So this is a great sign, showing that we are continuing or trying to hold the momentum at least at around 1300 for Ethereum. And as long as we don't continue to close to the downside on this, then I do believe that we should see some more upward momentum for Ethereum specifically, and anything that's really helping along the way, like Shiba and the rest of the altcoins, just because of its post-merge effects for the long term. I do believe heavily in Ethereum just because of what the merge has done. Of course, we haven't seen too much data as of right now and too much boost from the merge. However, I do think that that will increase a lot of momentum and movement and volume into Ethereum. However, looking at the charts for the weekly, you will see that we are trying to W this out, as well as squeezing to the very, very tip of our descending channel. Obviously, we did end up getting that weekly close. That weekly close as a doji, and now we have just tapped once again our 200 moving average, seeing if we are going to continue to the downside, pivot to the downside strongly, or if this was it and we're going to continue now and squeeze and try to get this bullish cross, to end up pushing us to the upside. As this descending channel, sometimes most likely they end up, most likely, I would say 80 out of the 20% end up breaking to the bullish side. So we do just have to realize where this is, what this is trying to set up in the long term, and don't get too freaked out just because everyone did say this was a head and shoulders. We completed, tapped, oversold, as well as our 200 moving average. So we do have to see how this descending channel breaks out. As this ascending channel broke bearish, now this descending channel should break bullish, and we should see some prices continue to the upside. However, looking at the monthly, you can tell that we did end up tapping our 50 moving average, and we have to see where we end up closing for the monthly. But as long as, like I said, as long as we end up closing above and holding this price tag for Ethereum, I do strongly believe that we will end up seeing some great prices coming for Ethereum and the rest of the crypto market here pretty soon. But other than that, that was just another quick market update video for you guys, and I'll keep you guys updated with further videos and my social media posts. Don't miss those, just because I post a little bit different content as well as fresher content. If something were to come out after I posted the YouTube video, just keep up to date with that. But other than that, that was just another quick market update video, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Ciao.